Thanks for joining us today on Owens Buzz On Biz. My name is Adam Hershin. Would you guys like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kevin Turan.
And my name is Bryce Putoff.
We were previously talking about the military-industrial complex, and there's a lot to digest here. There's a lot of history involved. We were talking about Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, the insane prices that we've been facing, the Pentagon in particular. It's just very unjust. It feels like it's almost very unjust compared to like the prices we were paying in the past to the prices to now. And there's almost like no accountability held for these defense contractors. So do you guys have anything you'd like to comment on that?
This is me, Bryce. I just think that a lot of profit can be made from wars and everything like that, but I was wondering your guys' opinion on if you think that that's ethical to make profit off of like wars.
We kind of highlighted this a little bit, but it's a very touchy subject because we live in markets, so like they exist. Like people make money off people wanting to eat. People make money off of people like needing housing. Essentially, it almost coincides in like the same principles, I guess, because like conflict is obviously bad, but the materials needed to fight a war, essentially, they don't just like grow on trees, you know?
Right, because you have like the oil and the weapons being manufactured. But I do know a lot of people will also say that it's not ethical to be making profit off a war just because of obviously all the bad things that go on in a war.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is Kevin, by the way. I personally don't. I think it's pretty unethical to be doing this certain type of business model. It seems like it only benefits one category of people, and that's people who decide to sell arms for a living. And I've never heard of like the big company Lockheed Martin. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of them doing anything for the community. I've only seen their stock go up because they're just charging more for all of their equipment, basically. And I don't see why that is anything beneficial to the world. I feel like it's just another way for people to make money, and since this is legal, they can make a lot of money legally, but at the same time, they're just aiding war. So I personally don't feel like this is really ethical at all.
I mean, I feel like if it were done with integrity, like people would respect it. Like obviously we need defense contractors. Like they manufacture our like way of war, essentially. We need them to a certain extent, but they know that and they're taking advantage of that right now. They're price gouging, they're misreporting maintenance hours, they're creating convoluted and disadvantaged contracts for the government. And we do need them. Like maybe like war isn't ethical, maybe the business practice of it isn't ethical, but regardless, wars still happen and we still need the defense contractors. So I think that like, even though right now it seems like they're very profit hungry, if we imagine like a different scenario where they weren't, or where they did act with integrity and with compassion, like for I guess, the best case scenario in a war, then I feel like the attitudes would really change, essentially. Like we would really respect them and there wouldn't be this insane prejudice against them right now, because they hold all the cards right now against the government.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because I would say like I don't really see a world where war won't happen. So if they were to do it in a more ethical way of manufacturing weapons and they were to have integrity, like you were saying, I do feel that could be, you could look at them way better in that sense instead of where they're at right now.
Yeah, even now, with Joe Biden announcing an increase in the Department of Defense, I think it is, he was announcing a big increase in the budget because of the Ukraine war providing aid and the Israeli war providing aid. Like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they were projecting that their portfolios will grow and their stock jumped up because people are investing, because they all see this opportunity now. So, like, with the price gouging going on, with this bottleneck monopoly on the market. And now we have two pretty, well, I don't really know how to describe a war. I guess I'd say two pretty unfortunate circumstances, for lack of a better term. They see this as a profit moment. And I think that they could at least show some compassion. They commented in an article, like took down this. They just saw the opportunity for their profits to grow. And so here's another opportunity for the military contractors or defense contractors to take advantage of the government and just force us into a deal that really isn't favorable at all.
So I have a question then. Would either of you invest in any of these stocks for these defense companies?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's huge growth incentive, essentially. I mean, take Lockheed Martin, for example. They started in pre-World War I. It was two brothers that their last name was Lockheed, hence the name Lockheed Martin. They started, it was almost like a Wright brothers situation. It was two brothers that were super interested in flight, and they worked as mechanics, and in their off time, they would like put money towards building planes. And when World War I was coming, they went to the government to get a contract, but they realized they came too late. So really rocky start. They ended up disbanding, and then one of the brothers went into real estate, and they ended up booting it back up just because of a passion for flying. It wasn't like war-based flying, essentially. So they're like trying to build it up slowly. Like they do have really grassroots beginnings, but obviously it's grown into this mega giant corporation. And then World War II came and they jumped right on the military contract. Even though most corporations back in pre-World War II era were very apprehensive to do this, just because the budget for defense at that time was really low. So they all saw it as a poor opportunity. But Lockheed Martin had learned from World War I that if we jump in early enough, the government will invest a lot into us. And boom, they hit like exponential growth because of World War II. They're manufacturing all the time. And they get huge contract. They have now thousands and thousands of employees. And so you can see that like these guys started as just us, like citizens with a passion. They had an idea. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Adam Hirsch.
My name is Kevin Turin.
And my name is Bryce Putoff.